Well, hi everybody. It's your favorite scream queen, Miss Stixen Stones, and I'm here to review the Season 8 RuPaul's Drag Race promo videos and cast photographs. So let's get into it. Here's what we're going to do. I am going to review the actual videos and then tell you my thoughts. And I'm going to tell you what I found out on their Instagram, because you best believe I stalked every last one of them last night. Then I'm going to tutor boot their look, and then at the very end, I'm going to give you my top toot of the week, as it were, like my favorite costume. So first up was Acid Betty. Now I'm a huge fan of Acid Betty. I think she's really fierce. She's got such an iconic look that I really like, but I just would be curious to see what else she can bring to the table, because I just don't know that she's going to be able to pull off the avant-garde, club kidness for every challenge and for every runway, because I don't think Michelle especially is going to put up with that. As for her look, I definitely toot this look. I think it's really fun. I love the heat miser hair, but it really oddly enough goes well with that 60s mod dress with that cute powder blue coat. It's a definite toot for me. So next was Bob the Drag Queen. I thought she was really funny. Obviously, I mean, she had me rolling laughing when she was talking about lip syncing to the audible.com books and stuff like that. I thought that was really funny. I just can't get behind the drag name. I think she's really fierce. I saw a lot of interesting stuff from her on her Instagram. She's got this interesting element of realness, but with a really good paint. I like her honesty. I think her realness is going to be good for Untucked. I already know she's going to be that one bitch who's turning the nozzle, stirring the pot. As for the look, I have to boot it. I like the hair color, but the wig and the wig line is just nah. It's kind of oof. And I know I'll be the first to admit that wigs are not my strong suit, so I don't have any room to talk. But just if I can see that the wig line is just not working for you and that the hair looks kind of oh, then that's a problem. And I like the poodle skirt, I like all that, but I don't like the colors, the reds mixed with the orange and the yellow. It just was too much for me, and I couldn't, so I have to boot it. Next was Chi Chi. I am on the fence about Chi Chi. I like her look a lot. I was surprised because in the promo picture, it's not. Her paint isn't that good, but then if you go on Instagram, her paint is gorgeous, and she has a really interesting variety of different types of paints that I was really into. I want to like her more than I think I do. I liked that she was into Broadway. I could definitely see her being in Hairspray. I think she was really cute. Her hair even reminded me a little bit of The Wiz Live, what they did with Dorothy. They had the headband and then the hair cascading down. I thought that was really cute. I felt that she wasn't necessarily the most well-spoken. She spent a lot of her time being I probably would say. As for her look, I have to toot it with the little cardigan. I think that's really cute. And it pairs really well with their sort of Easter color dress. Yeah, I'm into it, so I'm gonna toot it. So next was Cynthia Lee Fontaine. When I first saw her, I was immediately is that Nicole Page Brooks? Is that her Uptown cousin? But then after seeing her video, I was really charmed. I thought she was really cute, and she was really funny. Her accent was just really adorable. I definitely want to see the variety she can bring. As for her look, I was a little on the fence about it too. But then what really got me was the pearls on the hair, in the hair. I was oh, I'm in. I definitely have to do that. Next was Dax, exclamation point. I really I like her. I think she has a really strong aesthetic, and I really relate to her aesthetic. It's interesting because her daughter Violet has an aesthetic that I have as well, which is the burlesque thing. And then it's interesting to see that her mother has another aesthetic that I am really interested in, which is the comic books and the Road Warriors and all of that. And then when I saw her Meet the Queens video, I was oh, just sort of she just seemed really flippant and over it. And I was girl, come on. This is your chance to impress the entirety of the nation. But I do think she has an interesting niche with the cosplay thing. I hope that she takes it a step further than Fifi, because I feel like Fifi has brought cosplay to the drag scene, but I want to see Dax take the drag scene to the cosplay world and, go to conventions and do meet and greets there and do panels, because honestly, the crossover between drag and cosplay is immense. I mean, I was a part of it for a while. I've kind of stopped cosplaying, but I was a part of it for a while, and at the time, I was like, there just wasn't a whole lot out there. As far as like panels and like people being interested in that, but now I think it's really blown up, and I would love to see Dax take advantage of that. She is the one queen that I would be like, go to her Instagram. Her looks are astounding, and I have never seen a Storm from X-Men that good. Like, it knocked me out of my seat. As for her look, I'm just gonna have to boot it. Like, at first glance, it was one of my favorites, and then when I took a closer look, I was like, there's so much going on. Like, the print on the scarf, and then you've got the print on the shirt, and then you've got, like, the skirt, but it's also got this, like, little decal, and then you've got all these bracelets, but, like, the decal's lipstick, but then there's cherries here, and it was just like, oh my goodness, there's so much to look at. So I wish she would have, like, done, like, a plain white scarf with that, and, like, taken off the decal. There's so many prints going on, and so many different visual things to look at, and I wish she would have just focused on 2 or 3. So next was Derek Barry, and I just have to like stop and take a minute, because I heard about Derek Barry being on for a while, like I heard the rumor, but I was like, I just don't see it, and I still don't see it. I just feel like a pretty Britney does not a pretty woman make, because he's got such a severe bone structure, and it works because Britney also has a really severe bone structure. And I mean, he looks just like the bitch, but I just don't see him being a pretty woman. Other than that, I don't see him coming down the runway in any look other than Britney. And I feel like if he wants to do something other than Britney, he's going to have to stay away from the blonde hair. But I don't see him doing that. I may eat my words. Derek is one of the best in the business. I think he has risen to stardom, and as well he should, because his commitment to doing Britney is amazing. Went on his Instagram and was looking around, and I was like, I just don't see variety here. Like, I know, and we all know, that Michelle is going to say, we've seen you do Britney, what else can you do? So I want to see Derek do other things, and I hope he can. I'm going to have to, I guess I'll toot the look. I think it's really pretty, but it also kind of looks like something that just came off of the Nordstrom rack, you know what I mean? Which is fine. I mean, it's beautiful. Next is Kim Chi. I actually was lucky enough to meet Kim Chi in Chicago over the fall at Berlin. She's got such interesting looks that I've never seen before. It's very like 20s mixed with Korean, mixed with Trixie Mattel. It's just all so different, and I think it's gonna be such a blast to see what she brings to the runway. But what struck me when I met her was just how like quiet she was, and I saw that also in the Meet the Queens video, because like I almost just sort of felt like I was talking to a friend, which is really good for her, and I think she was the most relatable of all of them. But I'm curious to see how that translates, because I mean, we all know like things get cutthroat, people get rude, and I just want to see how she'll hold up under that pressure. I'm sure she'll hold up really well, but I just feel like she's so sweet. As for the look, I think I'll toot it. Like, I like the gloves, and like I like the hair, and the purple hair with the blue works with the red. So next was Layla McQueen, and she was actually the first one that my eye went straight to her, because I've been a big fan of hers for a really long time, and I love her like Beetlejuice trash thing that she does. Obviously, the dark aesthetic that she has clearly is my thing. Her personality, like, again, like I felt like so many of these girls just kind of came off as like a little blander than I wanted them to, but I just wasn't blown away by Layla's personality. I don't know, I'm worried that people are going to kind of just dismiss her just because she has that dark aesthetic. As far as her look, I think I toot it. I mean, it's very me, so I feel it with like the whole like pinup lingerie dark thing. I'm into it, but I don't know. It's not great, but I'll toot it. So next was Naomi Smalls, and after, like, the first person I saw was Layla McQueen, and then I saw Acid Betty, and then my eye went straight to Naomi Smalls. Naomi really caught my attention because, you know, she's so tall, and she's got that, like, fabulous 90s supermodel aesthetic. I looked her up on Instagram, I was like, oh, okay, like, she can definitely bring it. You know, it's, like, hard to tell with these promos, because sometimes it's like, oh, well, that's not how they really paint, or that wasn't their costume, or whatever, but I think she can bring it. I love the 90s supermodel thing that she has going on. She seemed like kind of, I don't know, like just sort of like one of those girls a little bit in her Meet the Queens video, because she just sort of seemed like she was like, well, I'm gonna win because I'm prettier than everyone else, and like that very like sort of like mean girl quality. But I hope that's not the case. I have to toot this look. I love it. I love the sharp collar. I love the like white trim with the like pink mod. It is quintessential and I'm here for it. Next was Natasha Lopez, and I mean, what can I say? I just sort of was like, oh, okay. Like, she's a Latina queen, like she's very like beautiful and fishy. She was just like Candy Ho, I feel like. And it was sort of like, well, why are you gonna win? She's like, because I'm pretty. And it was like, okay, that's not a good enough, that's not going to get you anywhere necessarily. I wasn't enthralled by her in the least. I think she's really gorgeous. I mean, she's got a great paint. But as for her look, I have to toot it. I mean, the long like beach coat that she had on with the pinup bathing suit is just like, oof, gorgeous. And with the matching bow, I'm into it. So next was Miss Robbie Turner, and I just this look, I don't know what about it is supposed to make sense. Like I get the dress alone. I understand that it's supposed to be that like classic Hollywood, but it's just so like elderly to me. Like, with the way it like breaks up the body, it just doesn't work for me. And then with the hair, and again, like I'm not a hair queen, I understand. And I've seen her stuff on Instagram, and she has some like really gorgeous blonde wigs that I wish she would have worn instead. Because it just doesn't read very well. I think it would maybe read better in person, but just photographed wise, it sort of looks crusty. I mean, it looks like it's been hairsprayed so much to stay in that position, and I don't like it. So I guess that it made it hard for me to watch the video, just because I was so like mesmerized by the strangeness of what was happening. But I really like her. I like her like aesthetic, her vintage aesthetic. I think that's cool. Again, she reminds me of just a lot of Tempest du Jour, and the fact that she's comedy, but she's also got that vintage thing going on, which I like. Yet again, another queen where it's like her vintage aesthetic thing that she does, like vintage comedy, is great, and she does it really well. And last but certainly not least was Thorgy Thor. She was, again, like after I saw Naomi Smalls, my eyes went to her, because she's like demanding your presence when she's like, yeah. I was impressed to hear her talk about just like, well, if it's not fun, then it's not drag, which is an interesting thing to hear, especially on Drag Race. I think her promo look is probably one of the more successful ones that we've seen. I dig the like double tiger pattern with the like leather jacket. Obviously, I'm into it. But yeah, I think she's really cute. I saw her on Instagram, and that hairstyle seems to be kind of her thing. So I can't really like clock her as like, I mean, is she like more into comedy? What's her thing? But I think she's really cute, and I'm very curious to see. I keep saying that, but I'm very curious to see like more from her. And she was one of the few queens that I was like, I can't predict what she's gonna do next, and I really like that. This comes to my Tudor Boot winner of the week. My winner absolutely has to be Naomi Smalls. I mean, there's a lot of good looks, but I think Naomi has the most successful. It's the most 60s. She's got that perfect like body for it, with the mod dress, like, and the collar is like what cinches the deal for me. I love that collar. I think that the top three will be Dax, Bob, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Thorgy Thor. Just a guess. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Please let me know what else you'd like to see from me. I'm going to be doing lots more makeup time lapses. I think I'm going to do some other drag related videos. If you'd like me to do some tutorials, I'm totally down for that. Best believe. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. And you can follow me on Vine. So all of those links are below. Please leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Who do you think is going to win? And give me your top 3 predictions below. Thanks, everybody. Mwah.